Welcome, fellow Roam hitchhikers. Today I'm updating Roam42 with some nice updates and some nice new features that I think you'll find very beneficial. Let's dive right into them. Here I am at the update log page for Roam42, and let's go one by one. So first, the daily note pop-up feature now has the ability to resize, position, and save position. As a reminder, to pull up the daily note pop-up window, you press Alt-Shift, Alt-Shift, and there it pops up. At first, it's going to look very similar to what you already had before, but it's been totally rewritten. Now it's movable. And so as you see, if I hover above, the title bar appears, and I can even resize it and position it where I want. It'll remember its position, and so every time you refresh Roam, it'll reposition itself. What I like to do in my personal workflow is I basically stick the daily notes pop-up window over here to the side, focus in on my tasks, and in fact I have a little pop-up with my tasks while I'm working in Roam. So again, Alt-Shift, toggles it on and off. Alt-Shift, Alt-Shift, Alt-Shift. So I do my work, I need my task list, pull it up, there it is, I do my work, and then I just continue on. Let's move on to the next enhancement that is related to the Jump to Date button. That's the little button up here in the upper right hand corner, which allows you to navigate to any date in your calendar. Dave had a good recommendation that we add a tooltip here so that you know it's a Roam42 feature, which is a good idea. We're differentiating Roam42 from native Roam functionality. This is useful for new users. Ramsey's had a really great recommendation as well for the Jump to Date feature. Right now, when you just click on a date, it moves Roam to the daily notes page for that date. Well, but what if you want to open that date in the sidebar? Now you just hold Shift and click on the date, and it'll open in the side. So a really great way to jump around to different dates and open them in the sidebar. And as a reminder, Alt-Shift Alt-Shift / toggles the sidebar open and close if you have Roam42 installed. Moving forward, let's go on to a new feature, something I'm calling Deep Jump Navigation. As you recall, in the previous update, I added a new set of features called Jump Nav. This allows you basically to manipulate the page in blocks. For example, you can move to the top and the bottom of a page. You can expand and collapse all the blocks. At a block level, you can grab the block reference, all using just the keyboard, no mouse clicking. Let me just click this to close that. Well, now we're adding something called Deep Nav, and this is for people who really love the keyboard. And if you're on a device where it's difficult to use the mouse or just really convenient to stay on the keyboard, you're going to love this. So first, it's not on by default. You have to turn it on because this feature can confuse users in the beginning, so it's off by default. So how do you enable Deep Nav? Pull up the Help menu, Alt-Shift-H, Alt-Shift-H, and you'll notice in the Help menu now there's, for some features here, little settings icons, which gives you a little bit more control over some of the features. We want to go into the Deep Jump Nav, which is activated by Alt-G, but let's go into settings to turn this on. As you can see, it's currently disabled. Let's enable it, and that's it. So you're not going to notice any change until you actually press Alt-G. And now you see all these numbers and even letters appear. For example, these numbers here along the side, these letters here related to links and so on. So what does that mean? Well, let's say I want to put my cursor in the updated block, number 4. Actually, let me navigate to the Today page so I don't mess up the update log. And as you see, I have numbers here. So without clicking or anything, I just say, okay, I want to add a new agenda point. So I'm going to press 3, enter, and see now my cursor is there. And I can type in whatever it is that I need to type in. Press escape, which puts us out of edit mode. If I press Alt-G again, now I'm back into Deep Nav mode. So I want to jump to, let's say, subscribe to Roam Stack, line 12, press 12, and there I am. Escape, I'm back out. turning Deep Nav back on, Alt-G. You even notice there's a little apostrophe up here. So if I press that, it opens the menu. Let's say I want to go to the Welcome to Roam Hacker homepage. It's WT. You see the WT here. So press WT, and now I'm there. So Deep Nav allows you to move very quickly from block to block. And it includes some very subtle features. For example, I'm pressing the up and down arrow key now, and as you see, it's just scrolling the page. Or if I press the space bar, it scrolls a half a page. If I press shift space, it scrolls back up. It even supports navigating the sidebar. So let me open a sidebar page here. I'm going to activate Deep Nav, Alt-G. And as you can see, now my sidebar has the letter S followed by a number. So let's say I want to edit that agenda item. It's S5, so I type in S5. And whenever you see this little mark, it means it wants you to press enter. And now my cursor is here. Let's close that up. So this is a really great feature. It makes Roam 90% navigatable by the keyboard. And I need to thank Mike Sloan. He developed the Roam Navigator Chrome extension, and this is what it's based on. I've done a lot of extensive work to make it work very well with Roam42 and to customize the experience, but amazing code, so a shout out to him. The next new feature is something called AutoComplete. This is AutoComplete of the search bar and block level lookups. It's a very subtle feature. You'll know you need it if you need it. What does that mean? So let's say I'm typing in a page and I get to what I want. I want Roam updates. Normally I have to press the down arrow and then enter, and then there it is. Well, AutoComplete is the following. I can be typing, and there I see I just press shift space, and that will autocomplete the page. Or let's say I have a block. Let me make a block reference. So I start typing in, and I see there it is, X-ray test. Instead of scrolling down or pressing down arrow, I just hit shift space, and it will grab the first real block beyond the crate block. So works there. It also works in the search bar. So let's say I want to go to the install page. There it is. Again, I could press down arrow, enter, but if I just do shift space, it'll grab the first real link in the search. So one more time, I want the Roam update log. There it is, shift space, and it selects it. That is AutoComplete. One of the things you're going to notice is that I'm beginning to add some visual cues throughout Roam42 into various features so that you know that what you're using is Roam42. That way we can differentiate between native functionality and Roam42. And I have to thank our budding angry macroeconomist in training for her creative artistic work. Thank you for the little icon. Just to go into nerd mode for a moment, I want to highlight something interesting. If you go up to the installation page, you'll see in the Roam.js that there is a new setting that you can add. It's right here. And basically, it allows you to change the nature of deep navigation. For example, it's called active on no focus. Activates navigation mode when the body is focused. So if deep navigation is turned on and you've enabled this feature, and you enable that feature by simply removing these two forward slashes here, it'll tell Roam42 that to try to always have the navigation functionality on. It's always going to appear without you having to press Alt-G. So you turn this on, and you still have to enable it in the settings window as you saw later, but then this feature will be more in your face as you're using Roam42. So those are the new features. If you go to roam42.com, it'll redirect you to my public Roam graph. And again, you can see the update log here, what's new, and get installation instructions, and also see some other things that I'm working on. If you need some help or you want to give us some feedback on the functionality, come visit us in the Slack forum. We have a channel called Roam42, You go to roamresearch.slack.com. It's free. You just register an account there, and it's hosted by Roam Research, and we just found ourselves a little home there.